Does your OCD make you wonder if you have to pee, and so you're peeing again and again and again? You're not alone. Stay tuned. That's what's up next. My name is Natasha Daniels. I'm a therapist and I make videos to help people with anxiety or OCD. And today I want to talk to you about a type of OCD theme called sensorimotor OCD. It's one of those disguises that OCD wears that is often missed or misunderstood, and I want to help educate you if you're struggling with this. But before I get started, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified, because I do make new videos on anxiety or OCD topics every single Thursday, and you don't want to miss them. So let's talk about the urge to pee. With sensorimotor OCD, you hyper-focus and fixate on a bodily function. And it really could be anything. It could be your blinking or your heartbeat or your breathing or your bladder. And that's where the urge to pee over and over again impacts people with sensorimotor OCD. And so it can show up differently for each person, but often it's something like, I just peed, but I don't feel like I got it all out, or I feel the urge to pee again, and you're stuck on a loop. And often this loop is going to the bathroom over and over and over again, or checking compulsively, pushing down, or seeing if your bladder is full, to the point where sometimes you can hurt your body. I've worked with people who literally get trapped on the toilet because they feel like they just have to keep going back. And so it's irrational, it doesn't make sense, and intellectually you might know, I just peed, so there's no way I have to pee again. But the feeling is real, and it's crazy how your body can create sensations out of intrusive thoughts and feelings. And this is one of them, where it can create a true physical sense of having to pee. Now, whenever I'm talking about sensorimotor OCD related to the bladder, I do always feel like it's helpful to rule out a medical condition because there's other symptoms that could be caused by a urinary tract infection or other things. And so my daughter has sensorimotor OCD, and the first thing that we did is we went to the doctor, we ruled out any medical origin, and then it became clear that it was an OCD issue and not a medical issue. The feeling is very real. So when she feels like she has to pee again, it does legitimately feel like your bladder is full. But here is the deal. Because she'll always say, or when she started to struggle with it, she'll say, but when I went to the bathroom, I did pee. I did have to go. But if you think about like your bladder as a cup, right? Think of a cup. It's always refilling itself back, right? And so it's like you pee and then it's like starting to refill again. And really normally we pee when the cup is full. That's what the bladder does. Or we get signals that we need to empty the cup when the cup is pretty full. But with OCD, it makes you feel the signal of your bladder when it's empty or just starting to fill up again. And so, yeah, you might trickle, you might pee a lot, but it doesn't mean that you needed to pee in that moment. And so the hard part, but the way to get through sensorimotor OCD, is to get off of the loop, because OCD gets you stuck on loops. Regardless of what theme you have, all sorts of themes are about getting stuck on a loop. And with sensorimotor OCD, you have to ask yourself, what is the loop? And more often than not, the loop is going to the bathroom over and over again and checking, right? And so some people push down, or they have different ways that they check if they have to pee. Now, the core fear around sensorimotor OCD, it's interesting, is different for a lot of people. And so your core fear might be, it just doesn't feel right? It feels uncomfortable, and that might be your core fear. For other people, including my daughter, the core fear is actually related to some other themes that she has. What if I don't go to the bathroom and I have an accident? Some people say, what if I don't go to the bathroom and I'm uncomfortable? So ask yourself, what is my core fear? Is it I might have an accident and embarrass myself, so a loss of control? Or is it I might not feel comfortable, so I may not enjoy the movie, or I may not be able to go to sleep? Because that is part of the core fear. But the ultimate goal, regardless of your core fear, is to resist doing the compulsion. And in this case, the compulsion around this type of sensorimotor OCD is to go to the bathroom and to check, if you check. For my daughter, it was actually another compulsion, was to ask, is there a bathroom available? Will there be a bathroom available? I can't go anywhere unless there's a bathroom immediately available. And so that's a compulsion. So what are your compulsions? So whenever you have an OCD theme, because you can have lots of different OCD themes, this is just one theme. You want to do 3 things. You want to ask yourself, what's my core fear? What am I afraid of? What's the worst thing that can happen if I don't do the compulsion? The second thing is, what are my compulsions around this? And the third thing is, do I involve other people? Because a lot of times you do. Sometimes you don't. And so in this case, the core fear might be, it's going to be just so uncomfortable, I won't be able to handle it. That's my core fear, because we kind of want to debunk the core fear and say, I can handle the core fear. Or the core fear is illogical. It doesn't matter. And the second thing is, we want to look at the compulsions we're doing, because the compulsions, think about it this way, is the fuel to the fire. It's the thing that grows your OCD. It's the food that makes OCD grow bigger. When you starve OCD or you pull back those compulsions, OCD gets smaller because you're not feeding it. You're not fueling it, whatever you want to think about. And then involving other people, those are compulsions too, right? So when my daughter asks me over and over again, will there be a bathroom there? Then when I respond and tell her, this is a loop and we're fueling her OCD. And so learning to sit with the uncertainty of, I don't know if there'll be a bathroom there or not, and handling the discomfort that that feeling brings, that is part of crushing OCD. So what are your compulsions, right? Most of the time with this particular theme, one compulsion at least is repetitively over and over again going to the bathroom and getting stuck on the toilet. And so the first way to handle this is what we did at my house, and it's what I've done in my therapy practice and with members of the AT parenting community when I try to support them, is we start a log and we say, how long can you go without going to the bathroom? So you do these challenges if this is the compulsion that you do, which for a lot of people, this is the compulsion. Sometimes it's reverse, where you don't go to the bathroom at all. More often than not, it's that you repetitively go to the bathroom. So we're just going to talk about that one today. But you might say, I'm going to try to resist going to the bathroom for this amount of time. For my daughter, we start off really small. We started off with like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It took a while to grow, and she would write the times. And then when you're waiting, so let's say she said, okay, it's 9 o'clock and I'm not going to go to the bathroom until 9:30, because she had it in a very severe way. So we had to start off really, really small. For that half an hour, her OCD got louder. When you know you can't do something, you have to do it more, right? I have this, like if I'm in a quiet room and I don't even have a cough, this was really bad during COVID because I have social anxiety. I felt like I had to cough more. It feels uncomfortable. The moment I'm in a quiet situation, no matter what, I will have a cough. It's so ridiculous. It's the same thing when you say to OCD, okay, from 9 to 9:30, I'm not gonna pee. Guess who's knocking at your door? OCD is gonna be like, you have to pee. Oh my gosh, you're not gonna be able to handle this. It will rev up. So just be aware of that. And the goal is to resist the nag, to resist the bossy OCD and not go to the bathroom. With my daughter and other families that I've guided through this, it grows and it grows. So for my daughter, she was able to go 3 hours and realize that she can go 3 hours. And so she can handle a movie, she can handle a small road trip, she can handle an airplane ride without having access to a bathroom for that period of time, because she's learned how to deal with the discomfort that the feeling brings, deal with the intrusive thoughts of I might have an accident, and not scratch the itch that OCD wants her to scratch. And so when you don't listen to OCD, eventually it calms down. She would have this when she'd have to go to bed. She'd be like, I know I just peed, but I have to pee again. And what she learned is, you know what, I'm going to sit with the discomfort, and the feeling eventually fades over time. And that's what would happen with her. And then OCD stopped bothering her with that theme as much, because OCD's like, she never listens to me. Whenever I bother her with this and I say, oh my gosh, you have to pee, she's just like, yeah, you know what, I peed like 30 minutes ago, so I'm not peeing again. One thing that I do notice that she does is she tends to keep track of when she pees. And I think this is a positive thing. Like she'll have an intrusive thought that she has to pee again, and it will literally feel like she has to pee. And if she did pee, she probably would have something to pee, because we all typically do, unless you're going back to back to back. And she'll say to herself, I literally peed 15 minutes ago. Or if she'll say to me, Mom, I really feel like I have to pee, my OCD's bothering me. And I'll say, when did you pee last? And she'll be like, 15 minutes ago. And I'll be like, do most people have to empty their large cup 15 minutes after they already emptied their large cup, metaphorically? And she'll be like, no. And I'll be like, then what do you think you need to do? And she'll be like, okay, I'm not gonna pee. I'm not gonna pee at least until 10:30. Like she'll pick a different time where then she's okay to pee. So pay attention to that as well. Start with small steps. This thing is really hard to overcome in general, OCD, but start with small steps and build up from there. When we start with small steps, we do eventually get to big progress over time. When you start too big, it feels overwhelming and then you give up. So I hope that you find that helpful. I do have a course for kids and teens to crush OCD. You can check it out. I leave a link below, or go to my school at atparentingsurvivalschool.com. I'd love to help you more in depth. OCD has many disguises. This is just one of them, and they will morph, shift, and change. But the way that you tackle OCD, the foundation of how you tackle OCD, remains the same. And so learn how to tackle all OCD themes, recognize OCD disguises, and you'll be better long term. Don't forget to find the sparkle in everything you do, and I'll talk to you again next Thursday. Take care.